Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would like to share with you some thoughts and comments that I have with regard to the very recent announcement that was made by the Criterion Collection a few hours ago, in fact, in regards to the planned releases by Criterion for April 2021. So, as we know, Criterion customarily makes announcements a few months ahead of time as to those titles that it plans to release sometime later in the year. So here, they've made their announcement about those titles that they plan to release later in the year, April 2021. And so if you're interested, please check out the Criterion Collection website directly for more information, more specs, images of cover art, and information about supplemental materials, and also write-ups about what the films are about, etc. So please check out the site directly for more information. But if you don't mind, I'd like to share with you my very initial thoughts and comments and reactions. Again, with the understanding that maybe these might change over time, and also maybe when the actual items arrive, then that would also afford us, you and I, a good opportunity to explore the titles together and to see how it is we feel at the time. But for right now, let us think about how we feel about this particular announcement. So according to the Criterion Collection website, the 5 titles that are planned to be released, or at least that are included in this particular announcement, let me say, for April 2021 are History is Made at Night, Memories of Murder, The Furies, Irma Vep, and Masculin, féminin. So we have 5 titles here, and each in its own way is a really great announcement. And so I am overall very thrilled by this set of releases, and hopefully for those who are interested but have not yet seen a number of these titles, then this, as I say, hopefully will afford people the opportunity to explore and discover these. And as I say, each in its own way is really quite remarkable and wonderful. So the first film, according to this announcement anyway, that is scheduled for release on April 13th, 2021, is going to be for Spy Number 1072. And this is from 1937, Frank Borzegi's film, History is Made at Night. And I am so happy about this one. This film is thoroughly entertaining and very romantic, and it has an absorbing story that has wonderfully placed touches of melodrama and also emotion and also excitement and thrills. I mean, there is a certain excitement factor to this that is I think makes it so absorbing and so compelling. And so when we think about all these elements that are mixed in and blended together in this film from the 30s, it's remarkable. And hopefully, if you haven't seen this film, then this release will afford one the opportunity to explore it. I am really, I'm really over the moon about this one, and there is a certain charm and wit and captivating nature that I think will make this very appealing to audiences, those who might be revisiting this film, and also those who might be discovering it for the first time, and perhaps for those who haven't seen the film and who might be discovering for the first time. There is so much, there's so much entertainment value here, and it's, as I say, it's charming, witty, and very exciting, and very emotional. So history is made at night. And also I think there can be a lot of parallels that can be made. It could be said that maybe some films that were made of a similar vein in, say, the more modern era could be said to have been inspired by or have strong linkages with a film like History is Made at Night. I think a lot has been mentioned, for example, in terms of parallels, say, between this film and a later film, film that was made called Titanic. And so, in any event, my friends, whatever the case may be for you in terms of discovering it for the first time or rediscovering it or revisiting it, in any event, I hope you enjoy the release when it comes on April 13th, 2021. I certainly will be looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be, according to the site, based on a new restored 4K digital transfer for this Blu-ray, plus a lot of special features that plan to be included. So this is going to, looks like another potentially wonderful release from Criterion. I am very excited about this one. This is History is Made at Night. And then continuing on, we have scheduled for release on April 20th, 2021. And this is the film going to be getting spine number 1073. This is from 2003, and the filmmaker is Bong Joon-ho. The film is called Memories of Murder. Several months back, there was this news article, or there's this information that was circulated in entertainment news and media news outlets about how the films Parasite and Memories of Murder were going to get released by the Criterion Collection. And then so when we heard this news, as I say, several months back, then for those of us who are fans of the Criterion Collection, then it was just a matter of when Criterion would make its announcement for these films. As we know, last year, Criterion released the film Parasite from Bong Joon-ho. And now we, at long last, get the announcement from Criterion for the film Memories of Murder. And it looks like it's going to get DVD or Blu-ray release, whatever your preference is. And according to the site, it looks like 2 discs for the Blu-ray release and 2 discs for the DVD release. So it looks like we're going to get a packed release in any event. So that in and of itself is very exciting. If we're talking about the film, of course, we are talking about one of Bong Joon-ho's most electrifying films. And it is a film that is filled with so many tones and styles. It is truly remarkable how finely balanced everything feels in the hands of Bong Joon-ho and company. This is truly an unforgettable work that is dealing with a very tense and quite unpleasant and grisly subject matter in terms of this idea of investigation of these killings. And we have the following in the story of certain characters that are trying, in essence, to solve these crimes. So it becomes, in many ways, a film that is relying on this murder mystery type of genre. It also is relying on a police procedural type of genre. It's also relying on, of course, a human drama about the effects of this type of very intense situation on characters and community. It's also a story that is linked to modern history of the country, both in terms of actual news events as well as certain political undertones to the proceedings. And also there are elements of almost suspense and horror. Also, there are elements of comedy and humor, and they are all mixed together in this, as I say, so expertly balanced manner that Bong Joon-ho and company have achieved in this film. And it becomes, as I say, this dazzling, electrifying exploration and examination. And so at long last, it emerges, the Criterion Collection, in this manner. So I am so excited, and I join many other people who have been expressing their excitement about this and anticipation ever since that first early indication in the news several months back. So at last, my friends, it is emerging. And we have what's described as being a new 4K digital restoration. And we have a number of supplements, and I must say we have a wealth of supplements, including a wealth of commentaries too, including what's described as being a new commentary with featuring critic Tony Raines. And so that is something to look forward to. I was a big fan of the Parasite Criterion release, and one of the reasons for that was the inclusion of the great commentary track for that film between Tony Raines and Bong Joon-ho. So here we have a new commentary track featuring critic Tony Raines. So that's something to look forward to. Plus a number of supplements, including a number that are described as being new. So this appears to be very likely Criterion producing a number of new supplements, which is great. Plus, we have one of Bong Joon-ho's earlier student films from the 90s, which is called in English Incoherence. Now, this is very exciting for me too, because I was very fortunate to have been able to get this Japanese DVD, which is called Bong Joon-ho's Early Works, and in fact included as one of those early works on this DVD, which I think now is unfortunately out of print in Japan. But one of the films is in fact this film, Incoherence. And so this is, it's great that this short film from his student work will be included as part of this package. And so again, this is one I think many people are looking forward to very much. This could be one of the highly popular titles to emerge from this collection, or this set of announcements for this month, or this early part of the year. So, but in any event, my friends, it is emerging at long last. This is the film Memories of Murder. And then we have, scheduled for release on April 20th, 2021, Anthony Mann's film, The Furies. And this is something that we already have at spine number 435 in this DVD set, which is right here. So for those of you who know this film, Anthony Mann and Barbara Stanwyck, and my goodness, what a film this is. This is charged, this is electrifying, this is a great, unforgettable drama, human drama that is on a kind of grand scale emotionally, and it's also this great Western, again from Anthony Mann and with Barbara Stanwyck, the one, the only Barbara Stanwyck. And so we already have this on Criterion DVD, as I say, at spine number 435 in this really magnificent release. It was a high-def transfer at the time, and it looks great even now. So I'm very happy with this. But we're getting this on a Blu-ray. Now, the Blu-ray description, it looks like it's being described as being high-definition digital restoration. So that probably means that it's relying on the same materials that were used as far as the presentation for this earlier DVD. Who knows? We'll have to check when the Blu-ray indeed itself arrives, but we can of course do a kind of comparative analysis if need be. In any event, my friends, whatever the case may be, this is still great news, because we are getting, as I say, this DVD set, but now a Blu-ray version in April. And when the Blu-ray arrives too, we can also check to be sure whether all the supplements on this DVD are on the Blu-ray or not. But this is, it looks like, according to what we have on the website, the Criterion website, we seem to be getting a new program featuring Imogen Sarah Smith, and it says for Blu-ray only. So that seems to be an indication that the Blu-ray will have something new, whereas it didn't have it on the earlier DVD. And also it says that the DVD will has a stills gallery, which according to the website, it appears that probably won't be carried over to the Blu-ray. Again, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see for the Blu-ray release itself. One of the exciting things about this is the fact that there is also the book, the reprinting of the novel. And so it looks like from the website that the novel will also be part of the Blu-ray package. And I must admit that I'm very fond in particular of those Criterion releases that have these large books but also the novels or some kind of source-based material. We saw that in other releases like, say, the Six Moral Tales, or we saw that in earlier releases of, say, Picnic at Hanging Rock, etc. And so, and also the DVD version of The Man Who Fell to Earth, for example. And then we also had it for the Furies, and so, and others, of course. And so hopefully this will also be intact as well when the Blu-ray arrives. It looks like it will be, and if that's the case, that's also very exciting, again, from a collecting standpoint. So wonderful, wonderful news. And if you haven't seen this, I hope this will afford you the opportunity to do so, because this is such a memorable film. This is Anthony Mann's film, The Furies. And continuing on, because that's not all, my friends, because the next film scheduled for release on April 27th, 2021, this is, yes, this is really interesting. This is the schedule for Spy Number 1074, 1996 Olivier Assayas film, Irma Vep. So, yeah, what a film this is. And it's a kind of it's kind of one of those magnetic, almost landmark films from the late 1990s. And I can't tell you enough just what an impact this film had when I first saw it. And it was quite a it was amazing, because especially when I saw it for the first time, when I did, as I say, in the late 90s, it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I wasn't necessarily in tune with at the time, in terms of how this film deals with use of different forms and genre, the way it uses visual elements and sound elements and music elements to tell this story that is very much also about cinema itself and about storytelling itself. And there's a really wonderful way that the past and the present are merging, again, in this wholly imaginative and wonderfully inventive approach that is Irma Vep. So what a great release this sounds to be, and I'm so excited for this. Now, of course, we have to remember that this film, Irma Vep, has had releases in the past, and in fact in the very recent past, from other labels. And Arrow comes to mind, of course, immediately, for those of us who are fans of Arrow, of course. So perhaps this release by Criterion, when it does arrive, it might be an interesting opportunity to see how it compares with, say, past releases. So it looks like it's going to be based on, it says, a new 2K digital restoration. And so this, again, on paper, it sounds like it'll probably be something like what has been relied upon in the recent past. But again, we'll have to wait and see. That kind of comparative analysis is of course possible, again, in April. And there are a number of supplements here that you can see listed on the site. It looks like most of them have been supplements that have been included on past releases. So, but there seem to be some that maybe haven't have been featured elsewhere but aren't included here. For example, I do know that there is a kind of commentary track I'm not sure if that commentary track will be included. It doesn't look like it will be included for the Criterion release. But as I say, we'll have to wait and see on that point when the release, in fact, arrives, when it does. Also, there seems to be a new interview. It says new with the director. So that will likely be something that we haven't seen before. And if that's the case, that's really great. And also there's... Oh, interesting. So there's also the inclusion of Les Vampires. So the 6th episode of the silent film serial. So this is also something that is very much linked with the film itself. So it looks like we're getting that inclusion as well as part of the Criterion package. So wonderful news. And for those who are physical media enthusiasts, of course, this will be another great opportunity for a comparative analysis between two releases from different labels. So I understand that's also part of this. So that's something to keep in mind. So for those who already have this film, maybe it could be a sort of wait and see approach. But for those who haven't had the opportunity to get this yet, and maybe you're waiting for the Criterion release, this might be a great opportunity. Again, let us see what the release looks like when it arrives in April. But I, for one, am very, very thrilled about this film because of the film itself, because of its impact and power, and its type of the type of feelings that I can recall having when I first saw it in my youth in the late 90s. This is a film that is very memorable for me, and the fact that it's being released here by Criterion in this manner is very exciting. So once again, when it arrives, we will examine it thoroughly where we can, but in the meantime, in terms of an announcement and what it is it has to offer in terms of Criterion and the like, wonderful. This is Irma Vep. Last but certainly not least, we have film also scheduled for release April 27th, 2021, and this is for Spy Number 308. So in fact, it is a title that has already been released in the Criterion collection, and it is this, which is the DVD which I have here, of Masculin, féminin. This is the Jean-Luc Godard film, and from mid to late 60s, 1966, yes. And so this is and we're getting the Blu-ray of this, which is purported to be based on a new 4K digital restoration. So it looks like we're going to get this new release, and the transfer will likely be different from that which we got on this earlier DVD, which is described as being the high-def transfer. So that'll be something to look forward to, and we can explore that further when the Blu-ray indeed arrives. This is such a fascinating film from a very fascinating period, from a fascinating director, and that is Jean-Luc Godard in the mid to late 60s with this film Masculin, féminin. And this has so much of the hallmarks and energies of Godard and what we understand his concerns were as an artist and as a kind of cinematic philosopher, and also social critic in terms of how his films became these pop art sensations that were filled with a lot of philosophical meaning, that were also directed in a type of way that is kind of homage to past elements of cinema and literature, but also becoming these fascinating examinations that border perhaps also on social critiques of certain modes and functions and styles of the modern age of the time. The 1960s. And that, of course, leads into some very direct or indirect references and nuances of a political nature. And here we have a very almost effervescent type of mode that is being employed in terms of this examination of this particular set of people, a sort of a youth or younger generation type of focus. And again, with all the hallmarks and visibilities of the types of flash images that populated the sort of sort of entertainment and also the maybe advertising landscape, if you will, for lack of a better phrase, from this period. So there's a lot focusing in on the visual and the kind of the iconography of the time and how that's related to, or how Godard links that or tries to link that with this story of these particular characters, again, in this film, Masculin, féminin. So it is another very engaging, very stylized work, as Godard provides us in that wonderful, again, Godardian fashion. I am so thrilled about this because this is one of my favorite films from Godard during this period. And if this, as I say with other films, if this Blu-ray upgrade or re-release, however you want to look at it, if this means that more people will watch this film who haven't seen this film before, Masculin Féminin, then that makes me very happy indeed. So again, this is a filmmaker whose breadth of filmography is very vast, but one of those key moments of his filmography comes during this time, and one of those key films is in fact this Masculin Féminin. So I'm very excited for this, and hopefully, as I say, if you are interested in exploring this or re-exploring this, this will afford you that opportunity. And when the Blu-ray does arrive, that can give us the opportunity to examine and compare this earlier DVD with the newer Blu-ray. I've indicated that it looks like the newer Blu-ray will have a new 4K digital restoration basis, so that's something to look forward to. And then we can also see whether all the supplements that we saw on this DVD are carried over onto the Blu-ray. It looks like that will be the case. Not sure if there will be anything new for the Blu-ray exclusively, at least according to my understanding based on my reading of this website information. But that's something that we can check when April arrives. So very excited about this, and hopefully you can explore it when it arrives too, which is Jean-Luc Godard's film Masculin Féminin. And so with that, my friends, that is the collection of films under this particular announcement, shall I say. I should point out that it is very conspicuous that the announcement starts with the film History is Made at Night, which is indicated as being available April 13th, 2021, right? So one wonders, therefore, what to make of the fact that there is no announcement made at this time for any title to be released a week prior to that. So what would that be, April 6th? And so I'm not sure, I'm not I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to the specific release schedule because I'm outside of North America, and so I have to receive the titles on a much later date because of the time it takes to ship here to Tokyo. So, but the fact that we're not getting any announcement now for any title to be released on or around April 6th, 2021 might, I don't know, maybe it means nothing. Maybe it's just a scheduling issue that is being resolved by these releases made, as I say, in this latter half of April. Okay, that's perfectly possible. Or maybe there might be something that could be released around that time that we don't know about yet. Who knows? Anyway, we also know that Criterion does make separate announcements sometimes, apart from these monthly announcements for, say, box sets. I don't know. But anyway, let's just keep an eye out. If you do hear anything about any other separate release that could be, say, for this early part of April, please let me know. But let's keep ourselves updated, and maybe some news will follow, or maybe nothing will occur at all. And even if nothing else happens separate from this release schedule, that is still nothing. There's nothing wrong with that, because this selection of titles that we are getting for sure is wonderful. I'm very excited for this. The History's Made at Night. I've spoken about for Memories of Murder as Irma Vep and that impact that I had watching it as a kid, and then also the two kind of upgrades, if you will. And so I think this is going to be very very exciting indeed. I can see a lot of conversations. I know, for example, a lot of people are very kind to leave comments for me over the course of these past months about when Memories of Murder might come out or something like that. And so, your guesses were good, if not better than anything I could guess. And so for those of you who are expecting Memories of Murder to be released around this time, well, congratulations, because now we're going to get it. And so this is going to be one of the highlights in a month that I think is going to be filled with a lot of highlights. So, my dear friends, this is the April announcement from Criterion. Again, will we get other announcements for April? I don't know. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we can hear later down the line. But if we don't get anything extra, still, this is cause for celebration, and I hope you are excited for this. In any event, my friends, what do you think? Please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what it is you have to say, as always, my dear friends. And you can also find, as I said, information about these titles directly from the Criterion website. You can find information in the description box. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.